in the 1980s, precisely in the beginning of the years 1980s, when at the anniversary of the Shark Hill, grave injustice is taking place. Additional 17 South Africans were shot dead. I was dismayed. At this time, I was a young pupil of legal science or law in the United Kingdom, precisely at Capital College in London. I sighed, but I also felt a hidden anger in my heart when I heard about that inhumanity. Today, the 26th of December, will precisely today, the Sunday, December the 26th of the Gregorian year 2021, is supposed to be Boxing Day, as it is called in certain countries, but more widely, Stephen's Day or Saint Stephen's Day. Because according to the New Testament, Stephen became the first martyr in shedding his blood while upholding the true cause of his Creator, taught by the Lord Jesus Christ and practiced by the same Messiah. Bishop Desmond Tutu's dead today reminds me vividly of the hard and fast truth upon which we need to base ourselves in pursuit of true justice, befitting equity, and no doubt humanity. Late Bishop Desmond Tutu showed the world that even the persistence based upon humanity, modesty, but also sincerity can make a difference for a nation and for the world community as a whole. This morning I heard about a suicidal attack at a restaurant, killing several individuals. And in the recent past, I heard about the disaster upon disaster, often caused when human traffickers tried to traffic individuals from one country to another by boat, or even when certain boats were affected by sudden accidental fires. Many people to whom I remain indebted in gratitude wrote to me expressing their sincerity by saying Merry Christmas. But can I truly be merry in a world when so many individuals, communities, groups, and nations are confronted with such severity? hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, are confronted with severe hunger and even total starvation. The disasters which were caused, or I should say the disasters causing so many people to suffer in the Philippines, Malaysia, Bangladesh in the recent past, and millions of others throughout the world during the past years, should not hide the fact that too many people are confronted with the obvious peril of starvation, even in a country like Afghanistan at the moment. True martyrs always fought for the right. True heroes, even like late Bishop Desmond Tutu, spoke out against injustice and pursued their goals based upon true humanity till they achieved their goals. Should we not also follow their examples in speaking out against injustice and trying to render our services in the course of true humanity? A question I am constrained to ask my own self. We need to help others. A few years ago, on an Advent Sunday, I endeavored to draw the attention of the world by telling a short story. This was a story of a magistrate who had his cottage in a village not far from the office of his judiciary, or I should say, from his office of judiciary. On a Christmas Eve, he wanted to spend a few hours enjoying his meal, which he himself had prepared, as he himself had no other family members, hoping to attend the midnight mass at the end of the evening. While he was listening to Christmas carols, he heard the sound of a car parking in front of his cottage. He went to the window and saw an elderly person disembarking the vehicle and coming towards his cottage. The magistrate went to ascertain why the elderly person was about to approach the cottage. The elderly man told him that he had been traveling hundreds of kilometers on that particular day and wanted to refresh himself at a restaurant. But as in a village in that particular country, the restaurant, the only one that would be opened on other days, would remain closed on Christmas Eve. The magistrate felt obliged to invite the elderly person into his own cottage. And having welcomed him, he shared the meal which he had prepared. After Having enjoyed the meal with the magistrate, the elderly man thanked the magistrate and took off in order to continue his journey. When the magistrate heard the crying of an elderly lady from his vicinity, he rushed to the scene and discovered that the elderly lady who wanted to dispose the trash, having come out of her residence, slept onto the icy floor, and fell onto the icy floor and injured herself severely. The magistrate took her to hospital, as the elderly lady also had no other family member to look after her. Having fulfilled all the formalities, the magistrate admitted the elderly lady to hospital and returned home, hoping to spend a couple of hours before attending the midnight Mass of the Eucharistic service, the candlelight service, on that particular evening. When the landline phone rang, as in those days, cell phones, let alone tablets or other similar devices, were not available. Answering the phone call, the magistrate discovered that 3 very young persons, considered to be youths, had attempted to break into a store and were arrested. And the police officer required a bail order from the magistrate in order to release the youths. The magistrate rushed to the police station, fulfilled all the formalities, ordering the bail in releasing the young people. By the time all such work was completed, it was almost the time for the midnight Mass or the late evening candlelight service to commence. The magistrate went to the church, which was considerably crowded, as it may be expected on Christmas Eve. And by the time the magistrate could get into the church, it was already quite late. The first passage from the Holy Bible was already read. Even the Psalms and the Epistle were read too. The vicar, who was already standing to deliver his sermon, began by saying, "As you all know," and I crave leave to quote, he said, "As you all know, I was admitted to hospital the day before the first Advent Sunday and was not released until yesterday evening. Therefore, I could not prepare a new sermon. But I want to share with you what I had already prepared for the first Advent Sunday. And instead of reading the second chapter from Luke's Gospel, the vicar of the church began to read a passage from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 25, verses 31 onwards, which referred to the very utterance of the Lord Jesus Christ saying, when the King comes in his glory, he will sit on his glorious throne, and the holy angels will be there. And the King will separate the sheep from the goats, and he will tell the sheep, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was sick and in prison and you visited me and rendered your service towards my better health. When the magistrate recognized that all such things came to pass in his own life on that particular day. Late Bishop Desmond Tutu showed true heroism by following the path of his Lord, Jesus Christ, while obeying the commandments of his Creator, even as found in the Holy Bible, both in the Old and the New Testaments. On this particular day, known as Saint Stephen's Day, or the day of Stephen the Martyr, we, however humble and modest may seem, are also called upon to render our personal service towards those who are in desperate need. Unless we do so, the season of Christmas remains unfulfilled, even in our own lives. Bidding you a blissful Boxing Day, St. Stephen's Day, I remain at your service, however humble I may be. Thank you, and God bless.